Hi, and welcome to Quilting with Lori. My name is Lori Dickman. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. We are going to be working on another very large block this week. We had a very large one last week that we worked on. This one again is a 16.5-inch block, very scrappy. And today we're going to be pulling from our crumbs. So grab your basket of crumbs. The crumbs I'm specifically grabbing are strips, various size of weird strips in my crumb basket. I've also grabbed some 3.5 to 4-inch squares. Either of those will work. And from those you're going to be cutting out. You're going to use a template. This happens to be a Missouri Star Hexie template that I got years ago. And I'm tracing that onto all of these little gold pieces of squares of fabric, and I'll show you how that's done here in a minute. I've also pulled some 8.5-inch light squares from my 8.5-inch bin. So what I'm doing is using up stuff that I have. I want to use up these 8.5-inch squares. I want to use up these particular squares and my crumbs. My crumb basket, as you saw, was overflowing. All right, as you can see, we're at my tabletop here. And this is the block. So I wanted to make sort of a log cabin. And so I'm using my crumbs, my strips in my stash, my crumb basket that were strippy. Some of them are really narrow, some of them are wider. It doesn't really matter. I'm putting this together in the log cabin fashion where you start on one side and you just keep going around. I went ahead and took this particular hexie, and you can use any hexie that you might have, or even a different design. Maybe you want to use the triangle, whatever you choose. And I simply cut all of these out. And then I started by sewing a strip on one of the edges and trimmed it up, and I'll show you this in just a moment. And I just kept going around and around and around, creating a log cabin block using my crumbs, but the strips from my crumbs. And I started, most log cabins have a center. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's gold, or any other color you choose. I chose gold. So I did that. So this is all just stripped together. You'll see here in a minute how I did that. And then my background, I wanted it to be nice and scrappy. Again, I wanted to use up my scraps. So I sewed together 4 different 8.5-inch squares to make the background. And then I just centered this wonky little hexie, if you will, on the center of it. Now, my second block that I made didn't really turn out to be a hexie. It's more of an octagon or something. It's very unusual, and I love it. So you can just have fun with them. I started again in the center and just kept going around and adding strips and trimming them up, and that's the part I'm going to show you so you'll understand that. I did go ahead and sew both of these log cabins to the background by simply using a decorative stitch. I don't know if you can really see this decorative stitch very well, but I used 2 different decorative stitches. So I think every block I make is going to be using a different decorative stitch from my machine. We have all those beautiful stitches and we never use them, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Now, if you wanted to make this more of that crazy quilt, scrappy look, then you'd actually do a decorative stitch on each and every seam within the log cabin. I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to quilt these blocks when I actually get the quilt piece together. I'm going to do some quilting on here. So I am simply going to applique it on the outside. There's no glue to it. There's no fusible. Simple log cabin. Now let's see how I did this crumb quilt log cabin. All right, so I have 4 of the 8.5-inch squares. I'm going to simply just sew them together in a 4-patch and create what I've done here. Behind each of these, there is a 4-patch. And you can see here that I've sewn it together. I've done the twisty in the center, the little pinwheel in the center, which helps it to lay flat. And so everything is pressed in a circular motion. And you can see the back area of the stitching. I went ahead and used a very dark, it's kind of a navy blue thread on the front when I appliqued and a black on the back. So you can see that on the back there. But simply make your 4-patch. Once your 4-patch is done, and I'll get that sewn here in a moment, then identify what your center is going to be. In my case, the center is going to be this hexie. And so I went ahead and grabbed some squares, and these squares are actually a little bit too large. I could have grabbed a smaller square, but since I have it here, that's just what I'm going to use. And then simply cut out using your template. Cut out your hexies or your triangles, or maybe you're doing, whatever design, maybe a tumbler, whatever it might be. I'm gonna flip this around here. And I am simply, so I've got 2 of them there. So that's how simple that is. Now, let's get to stripping these up and how we're going to make our log cabin. So I'll just start on one end. I'm going to go ahead and sew across the straight seams, and that's all we're doing is sewing across straight seams. I'm allowing extra on both sides. So I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right across there. So you'll see that here in a minute. I'm going to go sew it. I'll bring it back and I'll show you how I trim each side as I work my way around. I'll be right back. So I have made my first stitch right there. I like to press it with my fingernail on the stitch line itself. It just kind of secures the threads in the seam. And then I'm going to flip it open and use my fingernail again and crease it to press it open. Then I'm simply going to take my ruler and my rotary cutter, and I'm going to line up my ruler with both sides here on each side of the strip that I've attached so that it matches the angle of that hexie. There you go. Now, if you put a light color strip right there, you'll end up with, as you can see here, it kind of looks like a diamond right there, which is kind of cool. So that's something to keep in mind. I did try to keep everything really dark so that it pops on the light backgrounds, but I did have a lighter one here, and it kind of created a diamond effect. And I guess it sort of did the same thing here too. Kind of have a diamond effect there. So have fun with it, do what you will. All right, so that one is done. Now let's find another. I want a different color. Now I'm going to lay a strip from my Crumb stash across the top of this. I'm going to make sure that I extend beyond here, and of course on the opposite side too. I want fabric on this strip on both sides. So if you look at the back, you'll see that I've got fabric extending off both sides, and I'll be sewing a 1/4 inch right along this seam allowance. I'll bring it right back. I've just finished sewing the second strip. I'm going to line up my ruler on this side. And then I'm going to line up my ruler on the outside of that second strip there. And so I've got my log cabin started. Now I'm going to sew another one right here. Let's go with this black one right here. I'm going to lay it across, flip it over so you can see I'm going to be stitching along here. And so you just continue sewing all the way around and just keep going in a circle. Let me get this stitched. I'll bring it back. All right, I have the third strip on there. I'm going to lay my ruler here, trim that away, lay my ruler there. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do another strip right here. What should I grab? How about this fun one right here? Here's a green one. And again, I'm making sure that I'm extending the fabric so that it extends beyond each side. As you can see, this Crumb strip is a triangle shape. And so it's going to be fatter on one end and skinnier on the other end. So it's going to create an odd, interesting shape. It won't be a perfect hexagon, and I like that. I don't mind that. If you want yours to be perfect hexagons, then of course every strip should be a normal strip. But I am enjoying creating some of these oddball shapes. There we go. Now I'm going to put one right here. Let's see, what should I grab? That needs to be pressed here. How about this one? And if you feel it's too fat, you can strip it in half. If you want a really wonky one, keep it the way it is. So I am going to go ahead and add this there. Sew it. I'll bring it back. All right, I'm going to flip this back and press it. Now, as you can see, my hexie's becoming more of a longer diamond sort of shape. Log cabin, if you will, and that's okay by me. I don't mind that. This one. So there's what I have now. There's the hexie in the middle, but I've got a variety of different sizes of strips here that I'm using. I'm going to go ahead and put this green one on, and I'll show you what it looks like. Let's say you have your piece like this, and you just really don't like this point out here. It bothers you, and you do want it to be more of a hexy shape. All you have to do is add another cut. Now, it's no longer going to be hexy. This is now a 7-sided one, I believe. 1, 2. No, I guess it still is a 6-sided one. But that creates more of a hexy. It's an oblong hexy, but it's still a hexy. So that's one way you can fix things if you don't like the shape that it's creating. So I'm going to put another strip here. And as you can see, every strip is a different size. It's a different length. Some of them are triangles. Some of them are strips. Some of them are just ripped pieces of fabric that are in my crumbs. But I want to use what I have and make something beautiful with it. So I've been going around and around. You can see this last one here I put on is more of a triangle shape. Trimming away the excess off each end. Now I am going to put this dark one here, and it's fatter on this side than on this side. But as you can see, it's kind of a strange shaped hexie. I might need to add some more here and here to make it a little bit more uniform in size, because I want it to be fit most of the block. I don't want it to be too narrow. So I'll just keep working at it and keep adding strips as I'm going around. Some will be fatter, some will be skinnier. Here is my 4-patch. I've just got some light squares that I've sewn together and pressed, and this ends up being 16.5 inches. Each of these squares is 8.5. All right, now I have my piece here. I want to decide how I want to place it on my block. If you feel like maybe if I didn't like how close this side came to that edge, I could always choose to trim away. In fact, I might just do this, trim away just a little bit of it. It's kind of there. And then decide how do you want it to lay within your block, and try to eyeball, I guess, and see that each side has about the same amount of space. And then you can go ahead and pin it down. I just simply used these wonderful pins here and just pinned it down. And I used a stiletto as I was going through and appliquing, holding everything in place. There is no glue. You could certainly use glue if you wanted to. There is no fusible. It is just a very soft crumb log cabin that I am appliquing onto this 4-patch background, using up my stash. Now I am going to use a beautiful polyester, it's rayon or polyester, beautiful embroidery thread. This is in a deep, deep navy blue. And I'm using just a simple black regular sewing thread for the bobbin. And I'm going to find another decorative stitch on my sewing machine, and I am going to simply applique all the way around onto this applique block using another decorative sewing stitch. I'm not using the same stitch on each block, but you certainly could. It's your quilt. Have fun with it. Let me get it appliqued, and I'll bring it back and show it to you. Here is another block. It's taking me about maybe 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes total to do each block. It's only about 15 to 20 minutes to actually put the log cabin crumb together, and maybe 3 or 4 minutes to put the 4-patch together, and about 5 to 10 minutes to put the to applique the block onto the, or applique the log cabin onto the block. Very quick to put together. I love it, and this is going to make a nice huge quilt. Every one of these blocks is 16.5 inches. It'll finish 16 inches in the quilt. So you don't have to make up too many of these to make a really large quilt. I hope that you'll try this. Let me know if you're going to try this and what shape you plan to use. You could even just simply use a square in the center. You don't have to use a template shape that I have done. You can simply even just use a square, or maybe even applique a circle over the top of it. There's so many things you could do. Let me know if you plan to do the crazy quilting, which means that you would be actually doing a special decorative stitch on each and every seam within that log cabin. This year, I have a lot planned for you on my YouTube channel. There's so many things that I want to bring to you, and I can't wait to get to work on all of it. But every 10 days or so, I also want to bring you a new Scrappy block where you are using up your scraps, crumbs, as well as your squares, as well as your templates. I just want us to be able to dive into our stashes and just actually use things up. And when I say dive into our stashes, I truly am diving into my stash. And if you're familiar with my Speedy Solutions to Cut and Organize Your Scrap Stash book, let me grab it. This is the techniques book where I teach you, and I also have a corresponding video, which I'll link in the description box below. Please go ahead and watch that. It'll walk you through all the steps you need to do to get your scraps in your studio completely cut, sorted, organized, stored, and ready to use to make beautiful quilts. And then I also deal with crumbs. So it's all the squares, the strips, the templates, and the crumbs. So much you can do. Between these two books, this is the patterns book, this is the techniques book, you get 17 total scrappy patterns that you can use your personal scrap stash to have fun with. So this year I plan to share with you lots of wonderful blocks that you can use to create beautiful quilts from your stash, and I hope you'll join me. Let me know in the comments if you plan to join me, and keep your eye out. About every 10 days or so, you'll see a new video of a new block. So until next week, I hope you have a wonderful week and happy quilting.